Hey, Mr. Hexagon here. You may know me from videos like Rewatch Kabuncha featuring Tony, or I walk up to you, give you a thumbs up, and fly away. In one of my previous videos, I discussed making a game, in which I was going to create a series of videos that would serve as developer diaries. So this is what you're watching right now, a developer diary. So, we like some action in video games, and what better way to add action than to pit the player against a deadly cohort of sugar-filled opponents. Enemies can be a tricky feature to implement, since you want to make them feel right to the player, giving them a challenge while not making it a living nightmare for them to churn through. For example, you can use audio or visual cues to indicate to the player when they are going to attack, or highlight behavioural patterns. Enemies also come in many shapes and sizes, providing different challenges for the player to learn to master. Melee enemies help the player improve their close quarter combat skills, dodging at the right time and striking when the foe is vulnerable. Ranged enemies can be a lot trickier to target and require the player to develop precise aim in order to predict their enemy's next move. The first enemies we'll talk about are the Ice Cream and the Blueberry. These are the starter enemies that appear within the first few waves. They're fairly easy to deal with, and the player will learn to make easy work of them. The Ice Cream serves as a horde-dependent opponent, easy to pick off by themselves, but when they're in a group, that's a different problem. This fellow was the first enemy I created, so they've become pretty infamous. They also come in 3 different colours. Next up, the Blueberry. This rascal spews a barrage of seeds at the player, and when you get too close, they run away. If left alone for too long, they can cause a real issue, so chase them down and exterminate them on sight. You'll thank me later. Moving on, we got more difficult friends to fight against. These fellas really test your mettle, and if you're unprepared, you might get a surprise death. The Waffle is probably the most dangerous sweet treat around. Not only do they take a buttload of bullets to defeat, but then they have their super offensive ground slam move that can really take a chunk out of your precious HP bar. Don't fret, however, as long as you keep an eye out, you'll manage to dodge out of the way in time. The Gumball is one of the more interesting opponents, being a fragile, squishy little fellow. However, don't get too cocky. Upon being slain, this small sugar-filled ball releases a massive explosion, knocking both you and enemies away. Talk about combustion of difficulty. Moving on, we have the Gumdrop. This enemy fires a high speed, high caliber, high danger sugar crystal that will definitely spoil your day. Before you say, no, it is not a reskin of the Blueberry. Sure, it fires a projectile, and it runs away when you get too close. There's nothing identical about that. No, not at all. Why would you even say that? Well, for now, that's what you get to see. A couple of candy opponents that are in the project, ready to make your day a challenge. We've got more things to look at later, like the digging, the boss that's in the works, and what the heck are these tokens for? Stay tuned for the next dev diary. Catch you later.